Namaste, my dear children. Welcome to our English class. I hope you are all doing very well. Children, today let us learn a beautiful ballad called Lochinvar, written by Sir Walter Scott. Okay, so now the ballad, we have to know the meaning of ballad. What is a ballad? See here, children, I have written few informations about what is a ballad. Previous year, you have learned a poem called The Bold Peddler and Robin Hood. I hope you all remember that, right? So we all have enjoyed very much in the class while we were learning the poem The Bold Peddler and Robin Hood. So that poem was also a ballad. So this ballad, okay, ballad, it is a poem or song narrating a story in short stanzas. Okay, what is a ballad now? It is a poem which narrates a story in the form of small stanzas. See here, children, I have listed few important features of a ballad. So here usually they will be lengthy, right? You remember, no? The Bold Peddler and Robin Hood poem was the lengthiest poem in your 9th standard syllabus, right? So it typically it will be long and lengthy. Then it will have musical quality. Repetition of words and lines will be there. So when we study this poem, Lochinvar, you will understand how the words and how the lines will repeat. Okay, so repetition of words and lines will be there. Then rhyme scheme will be there. So rhyming scheme you can find. Okay, because of this rhyming scheme, it will have a lively rhythm. Okay, so these are some important features of the ballad. I hope you all have understood what is a ballad. Ballad is a poem or a song which narrates a story in short stanzas. Okay, now let us know something about the poet of this Lochinvar. See here, children, these ballads, they can be considered to our, they can be compared to our Janapada Geetegalu. So we'll not knowing about the authors of our Janapada Geetegalu, right? ಅದು ಜನರೇಷನ್ನಿಂದ ಜನರೇಷನ್ನಿಗೆ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಪದ್ಯಗಳಾಗಿರ್ತವೆ. ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಮೆನಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆಡ್ಸ್ about which we do not know who have written those ballads. Okay, who has written those ballads will not be knowing. So, but there are few ballads which are written by particular poets. So here we are going to learn the ballad written by Sir Walter Scott. So here, children, Walter Scott, he was born in the year 1771 and he died in the year 1832. Then he was an excellent storyteller both in prose and in verse. You know the meaning of prose. Prose andre pata like, okay? So articles like, and verse is a poem. Then he was a poet, then as well as he was a historical novelist. See here, children, this Walter Scott, he is considered as the father of historical novels. His historical novels, they were very popular at that time. So let us know afterwards how important his novels were. Okay, then next one, he was a clerk of sessions. Actually, first of all, he was an advocate. Okay, he was a lawyer. He had completed his graduation in law. He served as a lawyer for few years, but later when he got interest in writing poems, no, then he could not make a time for him to write and to practice writing. So that's why what did he do? He stopped the practice of working as he stopped practicing law. Okay, he stopped working as a lawyer, and what did he do, children? He joined as a clerk in the sessions court. Then he also served as the judge and legal administrator, and he was also the deputy sheriff. Andre ನಮ್ಮ ಕೊತ್ವಾಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿದಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಒಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೊಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬ ಹೆಡ್ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ he was Kotwal like a person. Under him, one district used to be there. Okay, and he was the head. He means he had to look after the law and order in that region. So he was like the superintendent of police. So he was a deputy sheriff also. But later, as he couldn't concentrate on writing, no, he continued to work as the clerk of session. Income ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತಲ್ವ ಅವನಿಗೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ಲರ್ಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ as a clerk of sessions court he worked, and till his for many years he worked as a clerk, and as well as he wrote many poems and proses. Okay, then afterwards, children, next important thing, see, one interesting thing is there about Walter Scott. See, when he was a child, no, he was of just 2 years old. He got birth in 1771, and when he was just 2 years old, he got polio attack. Okay, polio drops ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀರಿ ನೀವು, ಪೋಲಿಯೋ ರೋಗಿಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಪೋಲಿಯೋ ಅಬಾಲಿಷ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅಟ್ ದಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ polio was a major disease, and he had a polio attack, and that's why he was a lame. ಕುಂಟ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟಿ ಇಲ್ದೇನೆ ನಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. he was a lame with lots of difficulty. He had to walk. Then what happened? To cure his lameness, okay, he was sent to the rural area of Scotland, where his paternal grandparents lived. Okay, where his paternal grandparents lived, and it was located, that village was located in the border of England and Scotland. You know, no children, England and Scotland, they are the part of United Kingdom. Hoda? So in the historical period, means in many years ago, there used to be war between, okay, this Scotland and England. So he lived, when he spent his childhood in the border of England and Scotland, in his paternal grandfather's home. There he had an aunt. Okay, so this aunt taught him speeches and different patterns of writing and all, and she used to tell him many tales and legends. At that time, maybe recently at that time, what would have happened, there would have been a war between England and Scotland, and he learnt the tales and stories of the brave soldiers who fought in the war, okay, between England and, which took place between England and Scotland. So that's why he was very much influenced. Then these characters of these tales and legends only, they became what, children? The main characters of his poems and what? His novels later. Okay, so when he was a child, he was very much influenced by the brave men, the brave soldiers and the brave characters of that time. See, children, in the beginning, initially he started his career as a poet. Okay, he was a poet initially. He collected many ballads. He himself wrote many ballads. Later, he felt somewhat bored by writing these poems and all. And that's why what did he do? He turned to be a novelist. For that, the inspiration was his famous ballad, and that is, children, see here, that is, okay, the name of the poem is The Lady of the Lake. Okay, it was a narrative poem. The Lady of the Lake. The Lady of the Lake was a narrative poem written by Walter Scott. So this poem became very popular, and he felt that he could narrate beautiful novels also. So he could write good novels also. That's why he started writing the historical novels. Okay, then another important thing, he is considered as the author of American Civil War. See here, he was considered as the author of American Civil War. What does this mean, children? In your previous year's history, you have learnt about American War of Independence, right? So American War of Independence that took place in the year 1776. It established United States of America, but this American Civil War, okay, it was fought against slavery. Okay, Abraham Lincoln was its leader. You have learnt the poem, no? The letter written by Abraham Lincoln to his son's teacher, right? So that Abraham Lincoln, he was the leader in this fight against slavery. In America, United States of America, this slavery was badly practiced. So the people from this slaves side, they were very much influenced by the novels and poems written by this person, Walter Scott. Okay, so he so beautifully depicted the the deaths and the bravery in the war in a very positive manner. Okay, that's why the people were very much influenced by his poems and novels, and they started to think, and they involved themselves in the ಸಿವಿಲ್ ವಾರ್, ಅಮೆರಿಕನ್ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ವಾರ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಪ್ರಭಾವಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳಗಾಗಿದ್ರು ಜನರು ಅವರ ಪೋಯಮ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಅವರ novels in that. That's why he is considered as the author of American Civil War. So this Mark Twain, he was a great American lyricist. He called this mindset of the people as Walter Scott disease. Means ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ಹುಚ್ಚರ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಭಾವಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳಗಾಗ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಇನ್ ಸಚ್ ಅ ನೈಸ್ ವೇ he used to write. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅವ್ರೇನು ಪಿಕ್ಚರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನ್ಸನ್ನು, ಅದರಿಂದ ಜನರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದ ಆಥರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಮೆರಿಕನ್ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ವಾರ್. ದೆನ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, he faced a financial problem. Okay, when he during 1825 time there was a financial problem. He was the partner of a company called Ballantine. Okay, what was the name of his company? Ballantine. He was the only partner for that, and it went through a financial crisis, and somewhat 1,70 lakh pounds, okay, was that much amount this person had to pay. Okay, then he did not take anybody's help. There were his admirers, including the king was also his admirer. The king was also his admirer. He also offered help, but he did not take anybody's help. He gave his house as well as his income as the guarantee to his creditors, and finally, in a very respectable manner, he dealt with that financial crisis. See children, even in his this difficult time also, he didn't stop himself from writing. He composed some 6 works during this difficult time also. Okay, so this person, the great author, the great poet, historical novelist, he died in the year 1831. Okay, he died in the year 1832. I'm sorry, 1832, because of illness. Okay, this is about Walter Scott. Now let us come to our poem, that is Lochinvar. Okay, so Lochinvar, he was a promising knight from Scotland. So knight is a high position in the society. So these knights will be trained to fight as soldiers in the wars. So he was a brave knight, he was a promising knight, and this poem, this ballad is about the love, okay, about the love life of this brave soldier, this brave knight, that is Lochinvar. So now let us read out the first stanza of the poem. Okay, I'll read out. Just have your textbook. Okay, so in this poem you will get number of difficult words, and I hope you will write all those things. Okay, see here, I'll read out the first stanza for you. O young Lochinvar is come out of the west, through all the wide border his steed was the best, and save his good broadsword he weapons had none. He rode all unarmed, and he rode all alone. So faithful in love and so dauntless in war, there never was knight like young Lochinvar. So here you can find the rhyming scheme, children. West, best, none, alone, war, Lochinvar. So you can find this fifth line also. See here, so faithful in love and so dauntless in war. So this fifth line has got two parts, and these parts are joined by the conjunction and. Both the parts start by so, followed by what your adjectives, faithful, dauntless. Then you have a preposition in, then finally you have a noun, love and war. So this type of rhyming scheme you can find throughout the poem, and also you can find this type of structure you can find, which have made the poem very musical in quality. Okay, its rhythm goes very beautiful. Okay, yes. Now let us understand the difficult words. I have meaning of difficult words I have underlined here, children. Wide border, then you have steed, then you have save, then broadsword, then you have, children, dauntless, and you have knight. So these are some important words about which we have to know the meanings. Okay, see, first one, wide border I have written, no? So it is the border. Here border means the border between England and Scotland. Then you have steed. Okay, steed means what, children? A horse used for riding. That is called what? Steed. Then you have save, children. Save means here. In this context, save means accept. Then broadsword means a battle sword with a broad double-edged blade. Okay, that is called broadsword. Then dauntless means fearless. Knight already I have told. A man of high social position trained to fight in the war as a soldier. Okay. So broadsword, it is a sword used in the battle. Okay. Which will have a broad double-edged blade. Save you have understood. Steed means a horse used in, children, used for riding. Then border means the border between England and Scotland. See here. O young Lochinvar is come out of the west. Through all the wide border, his steed was the best. And save his good broadsword, he weapons had none. He rode all unarmed, and he rode all alone. So this Lochinvar has come from the west, means he is coming to England from Scotland. And throughout the border, his steed was the best, means the horse on which he was riding, no, that was the best horse. And except the broadsword, he did not have any other weapon. Only he had got one weapon, that was his broadsword. And throughout all his way, he rode all alone and he rode unarmed. Okay, he had got only one weapon, that is broadsword. The next one, so faithful in love and so dauntless in war, there never was a knight like the young Lochinvar. So faithful in love. So now he is coming to England to save his love. And this person was dauntless, means he was fearless in war, and there was never a knight like. Okay, so in Scotland as well as in England, the poet is saying that this there was never a soldier, knight like young Lochinvar. So this first stanza explains what, children? It explains the qualities, and it explains the appearance and the qualities of the young knight Lochinvar. Now let us go for the second stanza. He stayed not for brake, and he stopped not for stone. He swam the Esk river, where ford there was none. But ere he alighted at Netherby gate, the bride had consented, the gallant came late. For a laggard in love and a dastard in war was to wed the fair Ellen of brave Lochinvar. Okay, see here, children. Okay, now let us know the difficult words. Stayed, then break, escriver, then you have a word ford, alighted, then you have neither by, then gallant, laggard, and dastard. See, stayed, it is the archaic, means in old English it is the past tense form and past participle form of stay. Archaic means old English. So here stayed means what, children? Stayed means did not stop, stopped anta. Okay, so he stayed, he stopped not for a break. No, he stayed not for break. Okay, stayed, I hope you have got the meaning. It is the past and past participle form of stay. Okay, in the old English. Then break means it is a thicket. Okay, now you should know the meaning of thicket, because you don't know the meaning of thicket also, I suppose. So thicket is a dense group of bushes or trees. Okay, ಪೊದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಮರಗಳ ಒಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದ್ರೆ that is called what, children? A thicket. Okay, then next difficult word is ford. So what is ford? Ford is a shallow point where the river can be crossed by foot. Okay, that is called ford. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯಾರೋ ಜಾಗ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾಲೋ ಜಾಗ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಳ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಜಾಗ, ನಾವು ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ದಾಟುವಂತಹ ಜಾಗ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಫೋರ್ಡ್. ದೆನ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ alighted means get down. Okay, alight means get down, alighted means got down. Okay, means before in time, ಸಮಯದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಇನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಮಯ ಆಗೋಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ before in time. Then neither by gate means neither by is a hall. Neither by is a hall in the north of England, in the northern part of England. Then gallant means brave. Then laggard means one who lags behind in everything, one who is a timid person, anamni hedrpukka, laggard. Okay, then next one dastard means again covered. So these are the meanings of difficult words. Now let us understand the second stanza. He stayed not for a break and he stopped not for stone. He swam the Esk river where ford there was none. See here, he stayed not for break ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಳ್ಳಿನ ಪೊದೆ ಬರಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ತರದ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗಿಟ್ಟಿ ಬಂದರೂ ಕೂಡ he did not stop. He crossed them with the help of his steed, he went on. So he stayed not for break and he stopped not for stone. ಕಲ್ಲು ಮುಳ್ಳು ಏನೇ ಬಂದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವನು ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಲ್ಲ. he swam the Esk river where ford there was none. So Esk is a popular river there in England. So he swam that Esk river. Okay, so he swam that Esk river. So in that river there was no ford at all. There was no shallow place to cross by foot. That's why he had to swim that Esk river. Then but ere he alighted at neither by gate. But before he came there at neither by gate, at the gate of neither by hall. It is a very popular hall in the northern part of England. But before in time, before he came there and got down, but ere he alighted at neither by gate, what had happened there? The bride had consented, the gallant came late. See, the bride had consented. Here bride means Ellen. Okay, the love of Lochinvar, the princess of Netherby. She had given her consent to marry another person. Okay, see here, the bride had consented, the gallant came late. Gallant means brave person. Here brave person is our Lochinvar. He had come late. For a laggard in love, see here, the bride had consented for a laggard in love and a dastard in war. was to wed the fair Ellen of brave Lochinvar. This brave Lochinvar's love, Ellen, she had given her consent to marry a person who was laggard in love, who was timid person, who lagged in everything, okay, and who was dastard in war, who was coward, who was hedrpukka in war. To that type of person, she had given her consent to marry him. Before this Lochinvar came there, Ellen had given her consent to brave such a to marry such a coward person. Okay, so this is the position when he reached the gate there, Netherby gate. Then let us see the third stanza. So boldly he entered the Netherby hall among bridesmen and kinsmen and brothers and all. Then spoke the bride's father, his hand on his sword, for the poor craven bridegroom said never a word. Oh, come ye in peace here, or come ye in war, or to dance at our bridal, young Lord Lochinvar? Okay, so difficult words, children. Kinsman, craven, ye, and bridal. Okay, see. Yes, see here, children. Kinsmen means blood relatives. Okay, kinsmen means blood relatives. Craven means again cowardly person. Here, cowardly, it is not adverb, it is adjective. Even though it ends with ly, you should observe this. Even though it ends with ly, it is not adverb, it is an adjective. Craven. Okay, then ye. Okay, it is again a word used in archaic English, means in your old English, as a plural form of though. Though, you know the meaning of though, no? Last year in Bold Peddler and Robin Hood, you have learnt this word. Though means you. So ye is the plural form of you. Means ye is the plural form of this though in Old English. Then bride. What is this bride? Bridal means relating to the what? Bride or newly married couple. Okay. Yes. See here, children. Now, so boldly he entered the Netherby hall among the bridesmen and kinsmen and brothers and all. So, when this Lochinvar reached, everything was ready in that Netherby hall for the marriage of Ellen and that coward person. This Lochinvar, he did not lose his courage. He entered the Netherby hall so bravely. Okay, so everybody knew that Lochinvar was in love with Ellen and Lochinvar wanted to marry Ellen. Everybody knew that. So even though he did not worry at all, very bravely, even though there were kinsmen, means blood relatives of Ellen, even though there were brothers of Ellen, and even though there were the bridesmen, means relating to he was the king, no? That Ellen's father was the king of Netherby, Lord of Netherby, right? He was, means very strong, powerful. He had soldiers and all. This Lochinvar, he had taken only one broadsword. He was unarmed, right? So he went into the Netherby hall very bravely. Then what happened? Then spoke to the bride's father. Sorry, then spoke the bride's father, his hand on his sword, for the poor craven bridegroom said never a word. See here, when Lochinvar entered the Netherby hall, okay, bravely, he was stopped by the father of Ellen. How did he stop? Ellen's father spoke to Lochinvar having his hand on his sword. Andre one kail khadga hidkonde, because Ellen's father was unhappy about Lochinvar. He did not want to give his daughter in marriage to Lochinvar, no? That is why he had arranged, he had found different man to give his daughter in marriage, right? So that's why he was unhappy when Lochinvar entered the hall there. Ellen's father put his hand on his sword, means he was ready to war with Lochinvar there. So he spoke to this person, Lochinvar. Ellen's father spoke to Lochinvar, but this bridegroom, means the person who wanted to marry Ellen there, no, he was so covered, he did not say any single word. Okay, so for the poor craven bridegroom never said a word, said never a word. These two lines, okay, the coming lines are the words spoken by Ellen's father to Lochinvar. See here, oh come ye in peace here, or come ye in war, or to dance at our bridal, young Lochinvar. See here, young Lord Lochinvar. See, this Ellen's father is speaking to, asking Lochinvar now, oh come ye in peace. Ye, he is giving respect, means Lochinvar, he was a powerful, he was a very brave knight, no. That's why even Ellen's father, even though he did not like Lochinvar, he spoke to Lochinvar in with all respect. He is asking, see, why have you come here? Have you come here in peace, or have you come here to war with me? Okay, or ಟು ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬ್ರೈಡಲ್, ಈ ಮದುವೆ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ್ಯಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಅಥವಾ ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಶಾಂತಿಯುತವಾಗಿ ಇರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ್ಯಾ, ಅಥವಾ ಯುದ್ಧ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ್ಯಾ, ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಮದುವೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀನು ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ್ಯಾ? ದಿಸ್ Ellen's father asked Lochinvar, okay, or to dance at this bridal, young Lord Lochinvar asked Ellen's father. See, he's calling young Lord, he's calling Lochinvar Lord. Means what? Lochinvar was a respectable, was a brave person. He was a respectable as well as brave person. That's why Ellen's father spoke to him in that manner. Okay children, let us stop this video here. Let us continue our poem in our next video. Thank you very much. And children, write down all the difficult words as I have written them on my notebook. You to write them in your fair notebook, so that it would be very easier for you to learn the poem. Thank you very much.